Good afternoon, dear students. In the previous lecture, we have discussed the working of impulse turbine as well as reaction turbine. And in the impulse turbine, we have discussed that the speed of this rotor, which is attached to the turbine shaft, is too much high. That is of the range 25,000 to 3,000. 25,000 to 30,000 RPM, and it is very high, which creates lot of practical complications, as we know that the generator can only run on the RPM near about 3000 RPM. So we have to reduce this value 25,000 to 30,000 RPM to that practical value so it can be usable. So now today we are going to discuss the method of reducing this rotor speed. So let us start the lecture. So method of reducing wheel or rotor speed. So this is all about that which I have discussed previously. We have discussed that if the steam is expanded from the boiler pressure to the condenser pressure in one stage, that is, I have discussed that D level turbine, the speed of the rotor become tremendously high, that is of the range 25,000 to 30,000 RPM, which creates practical complications, as we know that generator shaft has to work near about 3000 RPM. So that's why we have to reduce this value to near about this value. So there are many methods to reduce rotor speed to the lower value. And how we can reduce that? First, we can use multiple rotor system. That is attached in the series. Let us suppose it is the turbine shaft to which the rotor is attached. In the impulse turbine, the single rotor is attached. Now we can use system of rotor which are attached or which are keyed to the turbine shaft in series. And the steam pressure and the velocity is absorbed in number of stages, for like stage 1, stage 2, so that the pressure and the velocity is absorbed by the stages. So there are this method of reducing rotor speed is called as compounding, turbine compounding. So there are many methods of turbine compounding. First method is pressure compounding, second method is velocity compounding, and the last is pressure and velocity compounding. So first we will discuss pressure compounding. So first we will talk about pressure compounding. In pressure compounding, this type of compounding is used in the turbine that is called as Retube turbine. What problem it will solve? It will solve the problem of high blade velocity in the single stage impulse turbine, which I have talked about in previous lecture. This one. So we have to this pressure compounding helps to solve the problem of high blade velocity in the single stage impulse turbine. So what does it contain? It contains a alternate ring of nozzle and turbine blade. Nozzle, turbine blade. So it contains the alternate rings of nozzle and turbine blade. The nozzle are fitted. The nozzles, this one, these are fitted to the casing of the turbine, and these movable blades are attached to the shaft of the turbine. So nozzle is attached to the casing of the turbine, and movable or the blades are connected to the or keyed to the turbine shaft. So what will happen? We do the compounding in stages. For example, this nozzle and this moving blade is called as stage 1. Next row is called as stage 2, fixed blade, moving blade. Stage 3, fixed blade, moving. So that in this way we will get the pressure compounding. So one stage consists of one set of nozzle and blades like this. This is nozzle and this is blade. And we know that when the pressure is reduced, when the steam is passed through the nozzle, the pressure is reduced, and therefore by reduction of the pressure, volume is increased, so that the size of the turbine is also get increased. So the size of the turbine is goes like this, diverging part, because pressure goes on decreasing, volume of the steam goes on increasing, so that's why it is of diverging type. So in this compounding, steam is expanded in the stages. Steam is expanded in the number of stages instead of one nozzle. In the impulse turbine, what will happen? The steam expansion takes place only one nozzle and one rotor blade. One rotor and one nozzle. So in this compounding, what is happening? Steam is expanded in stages like this. This is one stage, this is second stage, and this is third stage. And steam is expanded with the help of what? It is with the help of nozzle and fixed blade. Nozzle and fixed blade. And the steam is equally expanded. In this nozzle, this fixed nozzle row, this nozzle and this fixed nozzle row. So the steam is equally expanded in 3 nozzles in the 3-stage turbine. So the steam which is coming out from the boiler, is fed into the first set of nozzle, or we can say fixed blade. We can also make fixed blade here. The steam is partially expanded. In this nozzle, and then there is a partial decrease in the pressure while passing through this nozzle of fixed blade. There is a partial decrement in the pressure of incoming steam that is coming from the boiler. So what will happen when pressure decreases? When pressure decreases, velocity of the steam increases. Now this steam with high velocity is moved to a set of moving blade like this. So what happened? As the steam is flow over the moving blade, the increased velocity after reduction of pressure from the first fixed blade or nozzle, it is absorbed by moving blade. However, when the steam is passed through the moving blade, velocity is absorbed by the moving blade, but the pressure remains constant. After this, the steam is again then passed to the fixed blade, and then again there is some partial expansion of steam. And then steam that is coming out from the fixed nozzle or the fixed blade is passed through the moving blade. Hence the velocity of the steam get absorbed by the moving blade, and this process is repeated until this process is repeated until we get the condenser pressure. So we can also explain it with the help of diagram. Let us suppose this is the pressure at which the steam is entering into the nozzle at the boiler pressure. In the nozzle, expansion of the steam takes place and pressure get reduced. So there is some resistance, so the pressure remains constant in the moving lid, as I have already told you in previous section. Now the steam which is coming out from the nozzle, the steam that is coming out from the nozzle moving blade is again goes to the fixed blade which acts as nozzle. Then again expansion of steam takes place and the pressure reduces, and again moving blade, then again fixed blade, then expansion of steam, then this is the condenser pressure. So we will do this process up till we get the condenser pressure. And what about the velocity? If this is the initial velocity, when it goes to the steam goes to the nozzle, the velocity increases. Then again moving the steam velocity is absorbed by the moving blade, so the velocity it decrease. Then again when it goes to the fixed blade, it works as a nozzle, then velocity increases. Then moving blade, velocity decreases. Then again fixed blade, then velocity increases. Then again moving blade, then velocity decreases. So this is the lost velocity. This is the lost velocity. And exit velocity loss is reduced to 1 to 2% as compared to the D-level turbine. In the D-level turbine, I have already told you that there is the 10 to 12% in velocity losses, and it will reduce to 1 to 2% as compared to the D-level turbine. So we are using this, but what is the disadvantage of pressure compounding? What is the disadvantage of pressure compounding? So disadvantage of pressure compounding is, since there is a pressure drop in the nozzles like this, so it has to be made airtight. It has to be made airtight, because if some pressure get out of the turbine, then there is not required amount of pressure drop takes place. So it must be airtight. Second one, I have told you that with the increase in pressure, the volume of the steam increases, so the size of the turbine goes increase. So therefore the turbine size is bigger and bulky. The turbine size is bigger and bulky. So in this lecture we have discussed pressure compounding. In the next lecture we will going to discuss velocity compounding and pressure velocity compounding. Thank you so much.